Sports bettors, we're going to be talking about middle bets. So, middle bets are honestly pretty underrated, but it's a strategy that sharp sports bettors will implement to make money. So, the purpose of this video is to kind of explain to you what middles are and how you can add middles into your sports betting to make more money, to become a more profitable sports bettor. So, the first thing you need to realize about middles is not all books have, the same odds. Books don't have the same lines. So, for example, in the NBA today, for player PRAs, points plus rebounds plus assists, you can see that Kevin Huerter, right? And you can look at any market. This is just the OddsJam screen. You can see Prize Picks has Huerter's line at 18.5 points plus rebounds plus assists. Underdog is at 19. BetRivers and DraftKings are 18.5 with the over slightly favored. FanDuel's at 19.5 with the under favored. So books don't always set the line at the same level, right? You'll hear a lot of new or amateur sports bettors just be like, oh, I'm on the over for Kevin Huerter PRAs, right? But it's like, well, what line did you get? Did you bet over 18.5, over 17.5, over 19.5? Because if you bet over 20.5, you got frickin' ripped off, considering all sports books that we can see right here are setting the line at 18.5 or 19.5. On the other hand, if you were able to get the line at over 16.5, you got a steal deal, considering every other data point, every other book in the market is at 18.5. Right? So you need to consider, where is the line even set in the first place? And these differences can seem small, but sometimes there are massive middle betting opportunities, right? So this is just a simple example. Is you can imagine if DraftKings, was setting Patrick Mahomes' passing yards line for, let's say, the first, NFL game of next season. Imagine DraftKings is setting his line at over under 249.5 yards and FanDuel's at 280.5. So you have this 31-yard gap, right, where FanDuel is at 280.5 and DraftKings is at 249.5. Right? So what you could do, what a sharp bettor will do, is they'll notice, hey, FanDuel and DraftKings are 31 yards off from one another. That's a big gap. So I'm going to take the under on FanDuel, under 280.5, the over 249.5 on DraftKings, and then I have this 31-yard window of opportunity where if Mahomes throws between 250 and 280 yards, then both bets will win. Right? So that's why middles are called low-risk lottery tickets, is in general, as we'll see with kind of some of the examples we go through, you're rooting for a pretty rare outcome, right? Like here, we want Mahomes, if we place this middle, if we bet on the over on DraftKings, the under on FanDuel, we want Mahomes to end up with exactly 250 to 280 yards. So we have this narrow window where we win both bets, where we win our over and we win our under if Mahomes throws between 250 and 280 yards. So that's a middle bet, right? So that's why it's called a lottery ticket. And then the low risk part comes from realizing that one of these bets is always going to win, right? Mahomes always has to throw over 249.5 or under 280.5. So we can win both bets if Mahomes throws between 250 and 280 yards, but you're always going to win at least one of your bets in a middle opportunity, right? So things to realize is, first of all, it's not like there's tons of profitable middles. It's not like every single day you're going to have hundreds of profitable middle betting opportunities, but you have to remember, if you consider all sports books in the market, so if we look at, Underdog Fantasy, most games have already started for today. And you can see they still have hundreds of different, thousands of NBA, NHL lines that we can bet on tonight. College basketball, soccer, there's just tons of different lines you can bet on. And again, sportsbooks set lines independently as well as odds, right? So every sportsbook tries to do it on their own, right? FanDuel has different odds than Caesars, has different odds than WynnBET. And occasionally they screw up and you'll get a profitable middle, which is what we're going to go through here. So again, as a sharp bettor, you're kind of looking through the market, hunting through the market for these inefficiencies, right? Regardless of if you use a software like OddsJam to find these inefficiencies or not, as a sharp bettor, it's not like there's always going to be a middle on LeBron James points. You kind of wake up, you check the market, you see where sportsbooks are setting lines, where they're screwing up, and then you take advantage of the market inefficiencies. right? That's really the main difference, I would say, between a sharp, profitable sports bettor and a recreational bettor. Is recreational bettors wake up every day and they say, oh, I want to bet on my favorite team. I want to bet on my favorite player. I want to bet on the most popular player. Whereas a sharp bettor will wake up and say, I have no idea what I want to bet on. I'm going to look through the market, hunt for value and inefficiencies where I know I have an edge over the sports book, right? So for example, here, the profitable bet, this is the OddsJam positive expected value tool. So this is just the most popular, sports betting software tool, and it just identifies market inefficiencies. So you can see the top play currently available on the EV tool is Jokic under 46.5 PRAs, plus 116 on Caesars. Take a look. No other book is even giving you plus money. So, right, even if Jokic is your favorite player, it's very clear that the side here is the under 46.5. You have dozens of sports books all telling you this line should be at around, minus 106, minus 107. You're getting it at plus 116. I mean, that's an insane line discrepancy. So that's a profitable bet, right? That's a play you'd want to be on. So anyways, middles aren't super common, but because there's millions of odds across sports books, and they screw up occasionally, they're all trying to set lines independently. So sometimes, you get plays like this where Caesars is clearly screwing up big, right? You have dozens of data points all pricing this at like minus 105, minus 120, whatever, and you're getting plus 116. Crazy big line discrepancy that you'd want to take advantage of as a sharp bettor, this plus 116. But anyways, back to middles. So again, we're looking for the needle in the haystack, right? We're searching for gold. We're searching for middles like this one we went through on Mahomes where there's big gaps between sports books. So another thing to mention is you need multiple sports books, right? Like this isn't something where you can middle bet with just one sports book. DraftKings isn't going to have Mahomes line at 249 half and then 280 half, right? DraftKings always is just going to have one line for Mahomes. So to be a successful middle bettor, you want more sports books. In fact, you want as many sports books as possible, right? We talk about this all the time, but on OddsJam, or just in general, as sharp bettors know, you need as many sports books as you can get. More sports books means more profitable betting opportunities. All these sports books set lines independently, right? So you never know which sports book is going to be screwing up on a given day. They all screw up. So if you don't have the sports book, you can't place that bet. If you don't have Caesars, you're missing out on this profitable betting opportunity. There's, hundreds of sports books on OddsJam and kind of in the global sports betting ecosystem. Bovada, all these books, MyBookie, all of them are on OddsJam, and you just want to get as many as possible. More books means more profitable bets. Here's a play on Win. Here's a play on FanDuel. Here's a play on Win. Here's a play on Bovada. More books, more profitable bets, more money in your pocket, and it's no different for middles. So the middle we're going to go through is between PointsBet and FanDuel. If you don't have PointsBet or you don't have FanDuel, you can't place this middle bet. Well, I guess if you just had Resorts World and FanDuel, you could place this middle, but you get the point. So we'll go back to the PowerPoint. So multiple sports books. So what are the benefits of middle betting? Before we go through this example, is again, one bet is always going to win. Either Mahomes is going over 249 half or he's going under 280 half. We can win both bets, right? The ideal situation is Mahomes throws for 270 and we cash our under on FanDuel as well as our over on DraftKings. But of course, that's not always going to happen, right? But you're always going to win at least one bet, so it's pretty low risk, similar to arbitrage. So another thing is you can have middles where you literally can't lose money. So we'll talk about that here in a second. But again, middles are low-risk lottery tickets. Like here, your fun sweat, your bet, is praying Mahomes ends between exactly 250 and 280 yards. So the middle we're going to go through is even more fun. First half total points in UCF Tulsa, random game, but again, as a sharp bettor, I'm following the value. I'm following the market. I'm hunting for value in the market. First half total points in UCF Tulsa, over 46 half, under 47 half. You're rooting for 47 points in the first half. That is your sweat. That is your ideal outcome. So it's kind of random sweat, but it's fun, right? So it's fun, it's profitable, it makes money. What's better than that? So again, middles over 0% are always going to be profitable. So essentially, as a sharp bettor, you want to place every middle above 0%, 0% or higher. So a negative middle means you're paying to put on the middle. So in other words, if we look at this UCF Tulsa example, here we're going to be paying negative 0.84%. So if we bet $1,000, we're going to lose $8.40 if our middle doesn't hit according to the calculator. So you can see here, if I put in, just my stake on Resorts World, what this calculator will do is tell you how much to bet on FanDuel. And you'll see here, we're going to lose 0.84% of our money, so $5.88 out of our stake. We're going to lose 0.84%, $5.88, if this middle does not hit, right? So if there's not exactly 117 points in this game, which is the middle hitting, then we're going to lose $5.88, right? So sometimes it may be worth it to pay to put on a middle. Sometimes it may not be. But long story short, the example we're going to go through is above 0%, so you can't even lose money, right? We're either going to make $4.07 in the middle, roughly, or we're going to win both bets if there's exactly 47 points in the first half. So let's go back to the PowerPoint quickly. So final considerations is, again, especially if you're paying to put on a middle, so especially if you're playing these middles at negative percentages, one thing you want to consider is, well, how big is the middle, right? So if we go back to this Mahomes example, over 249 half, under 280 half, that's a 31-yard gap. That's a big middle, right? Mahomes probably throws between 250 and 280 yards in like 20-25% of his games, right? So that's a huge middle right there. But you can imagine if DraftKings had the line at 279 half and FanDuel were at 280 half, that's 1 yard. That's not as meaningful. That's not as big of a middle. And it kind of goes for the same thing. Is like, 5.5 versus 6.5 goals in an NHL game is massive. That's a 55-cent swing in the odds, minus 145 to plus 110. But 240 half versus 241 half in an NBA game, it's just not as big of a deal, right? That's 1 point in an NBA game is nowhere near as impactful, obviously, as 1 goal in hockey, right? So we can keep going. Let's keep going through. So other considerations are you got to move fast. The best middles, they won't last forever. You got to move quick. You got to know how to navigate sports books. You're taking advantage of market inefficiency, so you got to move fast. And then you also have to remember, not all these middles are going to be home runs, right? But what people always forget about sports betting, even positive EV betting, is in sports betting, these games are almost always going to be the same day. Today, here we have some soccer game that's a while away. But in general, in sports betting, if you're finding plays with an edge, that is a daily return, right? So if you're earning 2.81% returns on your EV bets each day, 2.8% in a day is roughly what, 80-something% a month? So your return monthly is going to be 80%, your return on capital. So in other words, let's say you have $2,000 and you start EV betting at 2.81% a day. And this goes for middles as well. This goes for any type of sports betting. But you're earning 2.81% a day, so this is your daily ROI. In a month, you're going to be earning this times 30, right? So your bankroll, let's say, is going to be $2,000. Your bankroll after a month, and again, I'm not saying this is easy because this requires that you're betting every single day, but your bankroll would be 3.7K after a month. So as a sharp bettor, right, if you're arbitrage betting, middle betting, whatever, if you have an edge, your bankroll will increase quickly, but you have to put in the work, right? You have to put in the work to find the profitable bets. Go to sports books, lock them in before the line moves, and take advantage of the inefficiency. So let's go back to the PowerPoint. And again, just one goal is not, or one goal in hockey is a much bigger deal than 1 point in the NBA. But anyways, let's go ahead and let's kind of dive into an example of a middle. So you can see here the top middle on OddsJam, and you can just kind of hit the refresh button. You can add any filters you want. You can hit the refresh button. You can look for specific leagues. You can do all sorts of things. But you can see the top middle, the only one above, 1%. So out of the millions of odds across sportsbooks, there's only one middle where I can guarantee myself a risk-free profit in the worst case. So OddsJam is hunting, updating millions of odds. Millions and millions of odds are being updated every second to try to point out to you, as the sharp bettor, these rare few betting opportunities, right, that are actually profitable. That goes for the EV tool and the middle tool. So the EV tool is different than the middle tool, right? The middle shows you where sportsbooks are setting the line at different levels, right? 46.5, 47.5, 46.5 on PointsBet, 47.5 on FanDuel. Whereas here, every book has Jokic's line at 46.5, and it's just a big pricing discrepancy. The odds are just massively different, which is why you'd want to be on this Jokic play. So all of the tools on OddsJam, were designed for some reason to give you value. But what we can do is we can pull this up and be like, okay, let's say we have $500 on PointsBet. So just follow the calculator, right? I'm going to round this slightly to 162.50, but it doesn't really matter. So 162.50 is what we're playing on FanDuel, the under 47.5 at plus 310 odds, exactly as you see right here. Then we're playing the over for $500 on PointsBet. So I just pulled up the middle calculator. This is a middle calculator, so you can just pull it up, right? $500. So again, we're going to make a risk-free 0.61%, right? 0.61% ROI, even if this middle doesn't hit. Right? So even if there's not exactly 47 points, which is the ideal outcome, we're going to make a little bit of money. So we followed the calculator. Now let's kind of go through all the outcomes, right? So if there's 46 or less points, we're losing our over on PointsBet. So I'm losing my $500 stake. So this should be PointsBet. I apologize. PointsBet. So if there's 46 or less points, we lose our first half over 46.5 on PointsBet. Right? We lose this bet, so we lose our $500 stake, but we make $503.75 on FanDuel. 162.50 was our stake according to the calculator. I rounded slightly to a more normal number, 162.50. 162.50 times 3.1, the odds we're betting at, so we're going to be up $503.75 on FanDuel. Right? So your net profit, $503.75 gain on FanDuel, $500 loss on PointsBet, we're going to be up $375. Not that exciting, but again, remember that this return is today. This game is today. These returns are daily, right? People talk about the stock market goes up 8% a year. Imagine earning 0.61% risk-free, and you have the possibility of a massive payout if this first half total ends up at exactly 47 points. So now, imagine there's exactly 47 points, right? So our over, now our over on PointsBet is going to hit. So our profit is just going to be $500 stake, right? We're betting at minus 300 odds, so 500 times a third, right, is going to be our profit on PointsBet, 166.67. And our bet on FanDuel hits, right? Our over 46.5 hits and our under 47.5. So here, we win both bets. We're up 670.42. Right? Then if there's exactly 47 points, we win on PointsBet, we lose on FanDuel, right? We lose our stake. So then we're down to 417. So if you follow this calculator exactly, 162.6 or whatever, you're going to notice these net profit numbers will stay the same. And that's what the calculator shows you, right? The calculator will tell you, hey, your profit's going to stay exactly the same, right? Regardless of what happens, if your middle doesn't hit, that's what a middle calculator will tell you, is this calculator will keep your profit the same if assuming the middle doesn't hit. So assuming there's 46 or less points or 47 or more points. So this should be 48 or more. I apologize. So what we can do though is switch this back to 162.50, right? So we can change this to 48 or more. I apologize. And that's kind of a middle bet, right? So it's a sharp betting strategy. You now have a fun sweat on. You're rooting for exactly 47 points in this random college basketball game. And that's a middle bet. That's how you make money middle betting, right? We're making money no matter what, and we have a massive payout possibility. Any questions you have, feel free to email me. Let's make money, guys.